Hello, everybody. My name is Oscar, and this is TSS Vlogs, a place where you learn about me and maybe I'll learn about you. Who knows? Um, First off, I want to apologize for not posting up any real vlogs, any kind of conversational things going on between you and me. I actually lost a subscriber because of it, so I feel like now I have to be committed for that one person who left me too soon because they didn't believe in me, but I believe in myself. So I'm gonna keep attempting to do these on a daily basis, which I haven't missed a day yet. I did put yesterday's video on private though, only because I look super tired, and there was honestly like 3 minutes of me just not doing anything. So I didn't skip a day. I just have it on private, and that's that. But today I wanted to talk about my first trip to Disneyland, which was actually about 2 months ago, I think. Um, it was in August. That's what I remember. And oh god, my phone. Oh, it was in August, and it was amazing. Well, I was invited on this trip by my friend Alex. She is a very lovely person. Um, and the funny part was that I wasn't even meant to go at first. It was supposed to be first it was her lover at the time, and then it was her friend, and then uh, either one could make it. So then I was offered the gig, and I took it because I've never been to Disneyland, and so why not? And also, um, I feel kind of bad about this, but I didn't have to pay for the ticket, so she paid for the ticket because apparently this was planned like ahead of time. Like, oh, I don't, I forgot exactly how much time ahead of time it was planned, but so that was already ready for that. All I did was just bring like $100 and some, and paid for food every now and then for me and her, um, and it's pretty nice. I got to drive to down to Anaheim, which is where Disneyland is located, and it was interesting. I mean, first off, well, I got to drive her mom's car, and that was amazing because her mom's car had sports mode on it, and every now and then I would put it on sport mode, and then we'd hit like 80, 90 on a 75. So pretty cool, pretty cool. And mhm, uh, we got stuck in around the LA traffic area, and that was very annoying. And then finally, we made it to Anaheim. Um, her mom didn't know how like where we were going at first, I think, because we took like six different circles, and we went into like like, one of the parking lots at Disneyland, I think, and then we went out, and I think we took a couple illegal turns because there was no actual like turns to go, but we ended up on some lane, and then we ended up okay. We made it to our hotel. We stayed at a Super 8, and it was pretty interesting. I think at one point somebody did get their room, like they robbed their room, or like not robbed the room, but they robbed some stuff in the room. Uh, so that was interesting. I felt safe, but that happened. And day one, we did not go to Disneyland. Day one, we just stayed at the hotel, and me and Alex took a walk, and then at one point, this Mexican dude that was trying to give off advertisements started hitting on her, and then uh, that was quite interesting because he started talking to me in Spanish, and he's just like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" And I'm just like, "Hey, what's up?" And then he gave me a flyer. And in Spanish, he said something about like, "Hey, take your girlfriend to this thing," and I'm just like, "Bro, calm down, calm down." Although, let me tell you, the food in Anaheim is expensive. Like, um, we went through $100 and some, and I had nothing afterwards because we brought like maybe like a couple things with Chinese food and some burgers and like a couple pieces of pizza, and that was about all our money right there. Um, and we went to some like little place that was like a Chinese restaurant, but at the same time it was a burger place mainly. So they had like Chinese burgers. um, and they were also very expensive, and their fries tasted like egg rolls. Um, so it was a nice experience, although. So I did enjoy it. At the end, the food was pretty good. And the day one, we went to because we had passes to Disneyland and to California Adventures, which I didn't know existed. I didn't even know there was two separate parks. But apparently, one is more like a Pixar thing, and then the other one's more like a like Mickey Mouse and dancing around with the princesses and all that kind of fun mumbo jumbo. Um, and the first ride we went on as a family, because it was her family. Um, we went on the Tower of Terror, I think it's called, and that ride was beastly. If you go to California Adventures, you have to go on that ride because it just makes you like it feels like your heart went out of your mouth and then it was just in the air, and then when you went right back up, you caught it again and then you swallowed it and then it went back into place. So you died for like a minute there. Um, and so that was fun. And after that, we went on a roller coaster, and I think we went on that about like I don't know 6 times at one point because the line was super short, and so we just kept like running in, and eventually the line cut up and it got longer, so we didn't go on that anymore. And but my favorite of all is Disneyland. Disneyland is like Six Flags on crack, but with teddy bears. Because I mean, the rides aren't as exciting, but there's like so many things going on. I saw Mickey Mouse, I saw Minnie Mouse, I saw that dog. What's his name? Scooby. Not Scooby Doo. What's his name? Goofy. I saw that. I saw Goofy. Um, I saw a bunch of princesses, and I saw all that. Did you know? Fun fact that all the princesses um, that work at Disneyland, like they all have a signature that they all have to have identical. So like so Snow White or whatever, every person that plays Snow White in the park has to memorize how to sign something exactly the same as everybody else that plays Snow White, because they don't want kids or people like you know um bragging about like, oh, I have a signature from Snow White, and then another person's like, oh, I have a signature too, and then they compare it, and then the signature's not the same, and it kind of ruins the experience because then you're like, oh, I've been lied to. So, so yeah, they have everybody there. You have to know how to sign it exactly the same as the other person, and so I mean everything. They're really, they seem to be really specific about things like that, and apparently also, which I'm so mad that I didn't test this out, but I really want to go back sometime. Um, Apparently, whenever you ask them to like where something is, they're not allowed to point. They have to point with like I think like their palms, like with like their full hand, or I think with like 2 fingers, or I think 4 finger. Point is, they're not allowed to point with one finger. Then they will never point in one and say like, oh, it's over there in that one direction. But they will like point over there with like a full open hand. I think it's like this. They will point that way, and um, I wish I would have known that at the time, because then I would have messed with everybody and just been like, hey, where's this thing? And then they couldn't point, but then they had to like do the whole hand thing, and then I just high five them every single time they did the whole hand thing. My favorite rides would have to be the Pirate of the Caribbean, was probably my favorite one of all. My second favorite ride would have to be the Space Mountain, because that ride is super cool, and it's dark in there. I heard somebody died in there one time. Um, I think like he stood up and he got his head chopped off or something like that. And so, but which kind of reminds me, because I swear I saw a ghost in there one time when one of the times we went in there, because there was somebody just standing there in the middle of the tracks, and I was like, did anybody else see this? And I guess maybe not, but I swear I saw a ghost in there or something. I don't know. I saw something. Another ride I really like was the Star Wars like simulation kind of thing. It seemed kind of. It was very short and cheesy, and I think I stood in line way too long for such a short ride. But it was also really worth it. Um, and I think we like watched two different ones. I think Splash Mountain was actually my favorite ride. Yeah. Splash Mountain was an amazing ride. Let me tell you why. Not only you get to sit in a log thing, it's fake log, but either way, I like to pretend. But everything starts off all nice and happy. All the all the little monsters or whatever they are, they're all laughing and they're just like they're happy and everything. And then the deeper you get in there, everybody starts to like. It looks like everybody just smoked like 5 pounds of crack and it's just trying to kill each other. Um, and then eventually it just looks like everybody just like became demons and then uh, became cannibals. And you get up to the highest point, you're all the way up there, and like you're excited. You're like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And then you go down, and this is the kicker: you get splashed, and I think that's why they call it Splash Mountain. I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm assuming that's why they call it Splash Mountain, Splash Mountain. But there was a lot of splashing going on in this ride. And then everything becomes happy again. They do have a lot of they do have nice fireworks there. We found I think the last day we sat down and we actually watched the fireworks this time. Usually we left around that time because I'm not much of a firework man, but Alex was like, "Oh well, you have to watch the fireworks because it's the last day," and and so I was like, "Okay, well I guess we have to watch the fireworks." So the last day we watched the fireworks and that was nice. There was also this like show going on over by like the Pirates of the Caribbean area, and it was like super amazing that they had like this like holographic kind of watery thing, dragon bobber thing, and it was like weird because I think first it started off with like um, that one witch lady from whatever that movie was. That one witch from Sleeping Beauty, and then out of nowhere it turned like Mickey Mouse comes out of nowhere and like tries to fight this dragon thing, and then I think there's like fire breathing, and then eventually it goes down and it dies off, and everything becomes beautiful, and the pirates come by, and I don't even know. It's just like a clusterfuck of just a bunch of crap, cause but it looks beautiful. All in all, it looks beautiful. Um, but you get a little taste of a bunch of different characters. This ride for me would have been the Indiana Jones ride because there's a lot of like holes, and I'm very paranoid of holes because I'm always scared something's gonna pop out. So uh, whenever we were by a hole, I did a manly thing and I had Alex stand next to it so that way if something came out, they would take her instead of me because you know I'll deal with anything, but I'm not gonna deal with holes. That's one thing I don't deal with. So um, oh yeah, so I was pretty scared about that. But then there was like a lot of darkness and a lot of like holes and everything popping out, and I was just freaking out the whole time. Not gonna lie. Um, but once again, I figured they'd take Alex instead of me, so I was kind of happy about that. So all this happened. Disneyland was amazing, although me and Alex did have some arguments because she would not want to buy this bottle of juice because I was gonna buy it for her. I was gonna buy it. She didn't want to buy the bottle of juice. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't buy a bottle of juice if you're not gonna buy a bottle of juice. And she's like, I don't want a bottle of juice. And I'm like, okay, fine. Then I don't want a bottle of juice either. And she's like, why don't you want a bottle of juice? And I'm like, well, you don't want a bottle of juice. And I just became this huge thing. Um, but we're stronger than ever now. So, uh, but I think the most interesting thing of the whole thing was the fact that most exciting thing that happened. of the whole, well, not the most exciting, but one of the biggest things that happened after I came back, weirdly enough, keep in mind, we were back for a whole week, and out of nowhere, he, her ex or boyfriend at the time, which no longer because she found someone better. He tried to come over to and jump me with one of his friends, and because he thought it was disrespectful that I went to Disneyland with her, because he didn't want to go to Disneyland with her, and so it became this huge commotion. I'm pretty sure he doesn't like me, and but I don't have to worry about that anymore. So that's a fun part. But I didn't get jumped, and nobody got stabbed, and nobody got killed. I'm just gonna end it now. This shit's too long. So that is my story for the day. I think I missed a couple parts, but it is very late at night, and I had school today, so I warned you guys that this would happen. But I try to give you guys a nice story today, and hopefully tomorrow I come up with a whole different thing, and we'll have a better conversation. I'll be a little more loud, and you know, I'll try to look presentable and be a little more sexy for you guys. So thank you for watching and thank you for keeping up every day. My name is Oscar, and I'll see you tomorrow.